In this episode, I'm going to cover passing data to the next page. I'll construct a text field on the first page. I'll use that to pass the text from the field to the next page. I'll use the text controller to get the field's value. And then I'll use a material page route to pass the data. So to get started, I'm going to go to IntelliJ IDEA Community Edition. In this case, I'm not using Android Studio today. I just wanted to switch it up a little. And I'm going to scroll down and just show you the boilerplate that I've created. It's a simple project, and then I changed out a few of the components of the basic template. I've already constructed a scaffold. The scaffold has an app bar and a list view for the body. In this list view, there's one list tile, and it has a text field. This text field could be a text form field, but in this case, I just wanted to create something simple to show you the context of what I'm trying to get across today in this tutorial. So I've added a controller already. So it's a private variable. This private variable is instantiated with text edit controller. I'm going to use this to get the text value later. And I've already set up a raised button, and you can see it over here on the left in the simulator. It says next, and its child is next. And then I added a listener on pressed, and I'm going to listen for, and when I tap on it, I want to go to the next page. Okay, so the next step is to create the next page. So I'm going to add some space here to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a stateful template or a live template from the Flutter plugin. So what does that look like? I'm going to start typing in STFUL. And this will bring up the auto assist, and it says, okay, do you want to create a new stateful widget? Now I'm going to select it. In this case, you could press enter, double click there, and I'm going to name it next page. As you can see, it filled in the template for the next or stateful widget. And what I want to do is replace the empty container with a scaffold. Just like the first one, I'm going to build a material app page. So I'm going to go new scaffold, and then complete that. And I want to add an app bar. And for the title, let's see, app bar, new app bar. And then I want to name the title, new text, next page. Complete the spelling there. And what do I want to do for the body in this app bar? So the body, I want to do something simple in this case because I don't have to be real elaborate to show you that I passed the data to this page. So I'm just going to new text. And what I want to do is just do an expression in here that gets the data. And here I'm going to work it backwards here. So I'm going to go widget dot, and then I'll just say value. What does that mean? So I'm going to access this widget means I'm going to access the external state up here in the next page in the stateful widget. I'll come back to this in a little bit more detail in a moment. So that means that I'm going to go string value, and that's going to be null. And you can see I just completed the reference there so I can get access to it. So if I command click on value, you can see it jumps right up to the stateful widget. I call this the external state value. When I put variables within the state here, I call that the internal state. So how will I update this value? Well, I need to add a constructor with the argument value. So how do I do that? So I'm going to go next page, the name of the type up here, and then I'm going to put optional for optional parameters because it's not given that you have to do it. And the first one you have to do is key, because you could have a global key for this stateful widget. And that key is going to be passed to the superclass. So I'm going to go key. And so that just says pass the property key or the argument. And then I'm going to go this syntactic sugar and go value. So that means when I set this value here, this property is then initialized, and I can go final. I forgot final string value. So that's my external state variable. And then the next page is the constructor with argument key, optional argument, and optional argument value. And that key is then passed up to the superclass. Okay, so that is my next page construction, which if it's drawn or painted over here in the emulator or rendered, it will say just basically and have an app bar and some text with the widget and value. So let's say, how do I route to this page now from on pressed? I'm going to do it from on pressed. Instead of, I could go up here just to show you. I could say routes and then add routes, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm going to use the material page route to do that. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is construct a material page route. So I'm going to go var route equals, and then I'm going to go new material page route autocomplete, and it wants a builder. It's just like the builder for this class, build context. But let's just look at that. Let's click on this builder, command click to see what it is. It's okay, it's a widget builder. And then I'm going to command click on this as well, just to see what it is. Okay, so it's a type def. I consider this a function interface, how I should build the function. So I'm going to copy the build context, and it returns a widget. So you can do it however you want. You could extract this into your own method, but I'm going to go in inline function here, and whoops, I'm going to go inline function and complete the body there, and I need to return a widget. So how do I do that? Well, instead of doing it verbose like this with brackets, I'm going to do an inline. So I'm going to go like this, new next page. Okay, so that completes it. And this next page, what I want to do, I made a mistake there. I need to do a comma at the end because this is a property or an argument in the constructor here of material page route. And so I'll type in the argument for next page value. And then what do I want to return for the value? I'm going to use the text controller to get the text field over here on the left's value. And I'm going to say text. That's how I return the text for this input area up here. So if I type it in, this is going to be text. Okay, so let me do auto formatting, command option L for auto formatting. And looks like auto formatting. Okay, there it went. I had to press it a little the second time after I focused. Okay, so that is builder. So this is going to construct a new page, next page, and I can pass it. Now, just keep in mind, this is one of many ways you could pass data to another page. You could use a global variable or whatnot, a static variable. You can use objects. You can use shared preferences and other ways to do it, but I'm not going to cover that in this episode. I want to cover material page route and just using the argument of the constructor argument when the page is constructed. But there's one more important piece. I've created the route. Now I got to tell the navigator I want to go to this route. So I'm going to go navigator, and then I'll do of and pass it the context of this page, and then I want to push my route. And push the route. So if on pressed is listening for a tap, it should navigate to the next page and provide the value. So I can, up here, I'm going to go up to the lightning icon and press the lightning button, and it'll hot reload. And I'm going to go up and type in my name, Brandon, and click on next. And there we go. That was pretty easy to pass the page. Let's try a different value. Let's say animals. Next, tapped on it. Okay, there we go. So that was really easy to construct a material page route with a builder that constructs the next page, and I used an argument to get the value or pass the value from the text controller. I get the text and I pass it to the next page. What's the next page look like? I have syntactic sugar this dot value, which passes it to the final external state value of my next page. And then I access that page value from widget.value. The widget says calls up to the next page, external state value, and I get it. And I use an expression here to do string interpolation and say $ expression, and that adds it to the text of the body of this scaffold. So that concludes passing data to the next page using a material page route constructed within my listener. Thanks for watching today. Follow me for more tips on tricks on Flutter, and I'll catch you later.